Most men have no idea they're damaging their prostate every single day, and by the time they realize it, it's often too late. But what if I told you that 3 simple habits could change everything? Stick around because what I'm about to share might just save your prostate health. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you thought about your prostate? If you're like most men over 60, probably not recently. And that's exactly the problem. See, your prostate doesn't send you warning signals until things have already gone south. By the time you're waking up 5 times a night to use the bathroom, or dealing with that uncomfortable burning sensation, or noticing changes in your intimate life, your prostate has been crying for help for months, maybe even years. Here's the thing that nobody talks about. Your prostate is about the size of a walnut, but it controls so much of your quality of life. It sits right below your bladder, wraps around your urethra, and plays a massive role in your urinary and reproductive health. When it's healthy, you don't even notice it's there. But when it's not, everything changes. Now, I know what you're thinking. You've probably heard all the standard advice before. Take some supplements, eat better, and exercise more. But here's what makes this different. I'm going to show you 3 daily habits that are backed by actual research, things that doctors see working in real patients every single day. And yes, we're also going to address that question that everyone wonders about, but nobody wants to ask out loud. Does sexual activity actually help or harm your prostate? We'll get to that in a bit, so stay with me. If this information could help someone you care about avoid prostate problems down the road, show some love with a like so we can reach more people who need to hear this. Before we dive into the habits, let me paint you a picture of what's actually happening inside your body right now. After age 50, almost every man starts experiencing something called benign prostatic hyperplasia. That's just a fancy term for an enlarged prostate. It's not cancer, but it causes real problems. Your prostate starts growing, squeezing your urethra, making it harder to empty your bladder completely. You start going to the bathroom more often, especially at night. You might feel like you can't fully empty your bladder. Some men even experience pain or discomfort. But here's where it gets interesting. This isn't just about genetics or bad luck. Your daily habits are either feeding this problem or fighting it. And most men are accidentally making things worse without even knowing it. Let's talk about the first habit that can protect your prostate starting today. And this one is going to surprise you because it goes against what a lot of people think they know about men's health. Habit number 1 is all about what you drink and when you drink it. Now, I'm not talking about alcohol, though we'll touch on that later. I'm talking about water and other fluids throughout your day. Most men over 60 make a critical mistake with their fluid intake. They either don't drink enough water during the day, which concentrates their urine and irritates the bladder and prostate, or they drink too much in the evening, which means they're up all night running to the bathroom. Here's what you need to do instead. Drink most of your water in the morning and early afternoon. Aim for about 6 to 8 glasses throughout the day, but front load it. Get most of that water in before 3 or 4 in the afternoon, then taper off significantly in the evening. This does 2 important things for your prostate health. First, staying hydrated during the day helps flush out bacteria and reduce inflammation. Your urinary tract stays cleaner, your urine is less concentrated, and your prostate experiences less irritation. Second, by reducing fluids in the evening, you're giving your bladder and prostate a break at night. You'll sleep better, wake up less often, and your prostate won't be under constant pressure. But here's the key detail most people miss. It's not just about water. You need to pay attention to what else you're drinking. Coffee, tea, alcohol, and carbonated drinks all irritate the prostate and bladder. They act as diuretics, making you urinate more frequently. If you love your morning coffee, that's fine. Have it in the morning. But if you're drinking coffee or tea after 2 in the afternoon, you're setting yourself up for problems. The same goes for alcohol. That evening beer or glass of wine might seem relaxing, but it's absolutely wreaking havoc on your prostate and your sleep quality. And here's something that shocked me when I first learned it. Caffeine doesn't just make you urinate more. It actually irritates the lining of your bladder and can inflame your prostate. So even if you're not drinking a lot of it, the caffeine itself is causing problems. Some men find that switching to decaf or herbal tea in the afternoon makes a massive difference in their nighttime bathroom trips. Now, let's talk about something that ties directly into this. The second habit that protects your prostate is movement, but not the kind of movement you might think. This isn't about going to the gym and lifting heavy weights or running marathons. This is about one specific type of movement that directly benefits your prostate health. And it's something you can start doing today without any equipment. Pelvic floor exercises. I know. Most men hear this and think it's only for women. That's completely wrong. Your pelvic floor muscles support your bladder, bowel, and yes, your prostate. When these muscles are weak, your prostate health suffers. You might experience leaking after you urinate, difficulty starting or stopping your stream, or that feeling like you can't fully empty your bladder. Some men even experience pain or discomfort. But here's where it gets interesting: how this works. Your pelvic floor muscles are like a hammock that supports all your pelvic organs. When you strengthen these muscles, you improve blood flow to your prostate, you gain better control over your bladder, and you can actually reduce symptoms of an enlarged prostate. Studies have shown that men who do regular pelvic floor exercises experience significant improvement in urinary symptoms. We're talking about fewer bathroom trips, better stream, and less leaking. So how do you actually do these exercises? It's simpler than you think. First, you need to find the right muscles. Next time you're urinating, try to stop the stream mid-flow. Those muscles you just used, that's your pelvic floor. Now, don't make a habit of stopping your urine stream because that can actually cause problems, but do it once just to identify the muscles. Once you know which muscles we're talking about, you can exercise them anytime, anywhere. Tighten those muscles like you're trying to stop urinating. Hold for 5 seconds, then relax for 5 seconds. That's 1 rep. Start with 10 reps, 3 times a day. You can do this while you're watching TV, sitting at your desk, driving your car, or lying in bed. Nobody can tell you're doing it. As you get stronger, work up to holding for 10 seconds, then 15 seconds. Do 3 sets of 15 reps every day, and within a few weeks, most men notice a real difference. But here's the part that really matters. This isn't a quick fix. You need to do this consistently every single day for at least 8 to 12 weeks before you see the full benefits. Think of it like going to the gym for your prostate. You wouldn't expect to get stronger arms from lifting weights once, right? Same principle here. And there's a bonus benefit that nobody talks about. Strengthening your pelvic floor can improve your sexual function too. Better blood flow, better control, better sensation. So you're not just protecting your prostate, you're improving your overall quality of life. Now, before we get to the third habit, let's address that elephant in the room. The question every man wonders about, but most won't ask their doctor. Does sexual activity, and specifically masturbation, help or harm your prostate? Here's what the research actually says, and this might surprise you. Regular ejaculation appears to be protective for prostate health. There have been multiple studies on this, and the results are pretty consistent. Men who ejaculate more frequently, whether through sex or masturbation, have a lower risk of prostate cancer compared to men who ejaculated 4 to 7 times per month. Now, why would this be? The theory is that regular ejaculation helps flush out potentially harmful substances from the prostate. Think of it like cleaning out the pipes. When fluids sit in your prostate for long periods, they can become concentrated and potentially problematic. Regular ejaculation keeps things flowing, keeps the prostate active and healthy. But here's this important nuance. We're talking about regular, moderate activity, not excessive. And we're talking about ejaculation in general, whether that's through partnered sex or solo activity. The benefit comes from the act of ejaculating, which exercises the prostate, improves blood flow, and helps maintain healthy prostate function.
There's also evidence that sexual activity reduces stress, improves sleep, and boosts overall well-being, all of which indirectly benefit prostate health. Chronic stress and poor sleep are both linked to inflammation, and inflammation is one of the key drivers of prostate problems. So if you've been worried that sexual activity might harm your prostate, you can put that concern to rest. The opposite appears to be true. Regular sexual activity, in whatever form works for you, is actually part of maintaining a healthy prostate. All right, now let's get to the third daily habit that protects your prostate. And this one is all about what you put on your plate. But I'm not going to give you some complicated diet plan or tell you to never eat your favorite foods again. This is about adding specific foods that have been proven to support prostate health. The third habit is eating foods rich in specific nutrients that fight inflammation and support prostate function. Let's break this down into simple, actionable steps. First, tomatoes. Cooked tomatoes, specifically. They're loaded with something called lycopene, which is a powerful antioxidant that accumulates in prostate tissue. Studies show that men who eat more lycopene-rich foods have better prostate health. The key is that the tomatoes need to be cooked. Tomato sauce, tomato paste, and even ketchup work. Cooking breaks down the cell walls and makes the lycopene more available to your body. Try to get tomato-based foods into your diet several times a week. Second, cruciferous vegetables, We're talking about broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage. These vegetables contain compounds that help your body process and eliminate excess hormones, particularly estrogen. As men age, the balance between testosterone and estrogen shifts, and too much estrogen can contribute to prostate growth. These vegetables help keep that balance in check. Third, omega-3 fatty acids. These are found in fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. Omega-3s are powerful anti-inflammatory compounds, and inflammation is at the root of most prostate problems. If you're not a fish person, you can get omega-3s from walnuts, flax seeds, or chia seeds. Aimed for fatty fish at least twice a week or a handful of walnuts or ground flaxseed daily. Fourth, pumpkin seeds and zinc-rich foods. Your prostate has the highest concentration of zinc in your entire body. Zinc is absolutely critical for prostate health. Pumpkin seeds are one of the best natural sources of zinc. A quarter cup of pumpkin seeds gives you about half of your daily zinc needs. Other good sources include oysters, beef, chickpeas, and cashews. Now, just as important as what you should eat is what you should limit. Reduce your intake of red meat and high-fat dairy products. These have been linked to increased prostate problems in multiple studies. You don't have to eliminate them completely, but try to limit red meat to once or twice a week and choose lean cuts. With dairy, consider switching to lower-fat options. Also, watch your sugar intake. High blood sugar and insulin resistance are linked to prostate inflammation and growth. This doesn't mean you can never have dessert, but be mindful. Cut back on sugary drinks especially. Those are pure liquid sugar with no nutritional value, and they spike your blood sugar like nothing else. And here's one more thing that falls under this habit: green tea. There's solid research showing that the compounds in green tea, particularly something called EGCG, have protective effects on the prostate. Men who drink green tea regularly have lower rates of prostate problems. Try to have 1 or 2 cups a day, but remember what we talked about earlier with fluids? Have your green tea in the morning or early afternoon, not in the evening. So let's recap these 3 daily habits. First, manage your fluid intake strategically. Hydrate well during the day, taper off in the evening, and watch your caffeine and alcohol. Second, do your pelvic floor exercises every single day. 3 sets of 15 reps. It takes 5 minutes total, and the benefits are massive. Third, eat foods that support prostate health. Cooked tomatoes, cruciferous vegetables, omega-3s from fish or nuts, pumpkin seeds for zinc, and green tea. These aren't complicated or expensive changes. You don't need special supplements or equipment. These are simple, practical habits that fit into your normal day. But here's the thing: you have to actually do them consistently every day. I want you to understand something important. Your prostate health doesn't change overnight. Whether it's getting better or getting worse, it happens gradually over months and years. The habits you build today will determine the quality of your life 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Do you want to be the guy who's up 5 times a night dealing with constant discomfort, worried about his health? Or do you want to be the guy who took action early, built these simple habits, and protected his health before problems got serious? Most men wait until they have symptoms before they do anything. But by then, you're playing defense. You're trying to fix problems that have already developed. It's much harder. Why not play offense instead? Why not protect your prostate starting today before you have issues? And here's something else to consider. Everything I've talked about today also benefits your overall health. Better hydration, stronger pelvic floor muscles, and anti-inflammatory foods, these things improve your energy, your sleep, your heart health, and your mental clarity. You're not just protecting your prostate, you're setting yourself up for a better quality of life across the board. Now, I want to be clear about something. These habits are powerful and they work, but they're not a replacement for medical care. If you're already experiencing prostate symptoms, if you're having trouble urinating, if you're seeing blood in your urine, if you're dealing with pain, you need to see a doctor. Get checked, get your PSA levels tested, rule out anything serious. These habits will support your treatment and help prevent future problems, but they're not a substitute for professional medical advice. Also, every man over 50 should have regular conversations with their doctor about prostate health. This means annual checkups, PSA tests if your doctor recommends them, and being honest about any symptoms you're experiencing. A lot of men are embarrassed to talk about prostate or urinary issues. Don't be. Your doctor has heard it all before, and catching problems early makes treatment so much more effective. One more thing I want to mention. Stress management matters for prostate health too. Chronic stress increases inflammation throughout your body, including in your prostate. It also tenses up your pelvic floor muscles, which can make urinary symptoms worse. Find ways to manage your stress. This could be meditation, deep breathing exercises, spending time in nature, pursuing hobbies you enjoy, connecting with friends and family. Whatever works for you. Just don't ignore the mental and emotional side of health. Sleep is another factor. Poor sleep increases inflammation and disrupts your hormone balance, both of which affect your prostate. And ironically, prostate problems can disrupt your sleep by making you wake up to urinate. It becomes a vicious cycle. The habits we've talked about today, especially managing your evening fluid intake and reducing caffeine, will help you sleep better, and better sleep will help your prostate heal and stay healthy. Think about it this way. Your body is incredibly good at healing itself and maintaining itself when you give it what it needs. Your prostate wants to be healthy, but if you're constantly irritating it with too much caffeine, dehydrating it, letting those pelvic floor muscles weaken, and not giving it the nutrients it needs, you're fighting against your body's natural healing ability. These 3 habits remove the obstacles and give your body what it needs to keep your prostate healthy. I know change can feel overwhelming. You might be thinking, this is a lot to remember, a lot to implement. So here's my advice. Start with one habit. Pick the one that feels easiest or most important to you. Maybe it's adjusting your fluid intake. Maybe it's starting those pelvic floor exercises. Maybe it's adding more tomato sauce and fatty fish to your meals. Pick one, focus on it for a week until it becomes automatic. Then add the second habit, then the third. Within a month, all 3 habits will be part of your routine, and you'll start noticing the difference. Remember, small, consistent actions compound over time. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. Even if you miss a day here and there, that's okay. Just get back to it the next day. Progress, not perfection. Your prostate health is in your hands, literally. The choices you make today, tomorrow, and every day after that will determine whether you're dealing with prostate problems in your 70s and 80s, or whether you're staying active, comfortable, and healthy. These 3 habits are your insurance policy. They're your protection, and they're simple enough that anyone can do them. So here's what I want you to do right now. Pick your first habit. Commit to it for 7 days. Just 7 days. See how you feel. I think you're going to be surprised at the difference even 1 week makes. And if you found this information helpful, hit that subscribe button for more health tips that actually work.